Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays a Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. As Krusty the Clown said, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a tip-top Tet, a crazy Kwanzaa, and a solemn and dignified Ramadan. How's this run doing? I mean, come on, man. This is two good items. I'm embarrassed. We have 17 rate of fire, 2.5 damage. That's really bad. That's pretty much horrendous. However, I was gonna say this. We can slow things down a little bit. Everything else is actually like pretty good. Like by that I mean like our speed is fine. Our HP is actually pretty bad as well. I've decided this run is bad. I'm very thankful. The run is so bad, it made Arrow Walk look like a game-changing run, or a game-changing card. But yeah, I say that specifically, because today actually is the 25th. It's alright, don't need to cry for me just because I have to work on Christmas. I'm getting paid time and a half. Anyway. I don't know, like, are people working on... I imagine there's probably some folks working on Christmas this year, but between the pandemic and the... I mean, I guess here's the thing, it's like a year where maybe you would actually want to work on Christmas, because, like, you know, for financial reasons, if that makes sense, maybe you... I mean, I'm not trying to bring people down, I'm just saying that... You know, they get... 2 years ago, if you're like, I'm working on Christmas, people would be like, ah, that sucks. Now, if you're working on Christmas, people would be like, stop bragging! You haven't been furloughed. Anyway, so on that happy note, I hope you guys are having a good holiday season. I apologize, my brain, it goes in macabre directions, okay? Speaking of which, so, like, I watched Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, yesterday. It was on television, and I kind of, like, I'm not a curmudgeon, okay? Like, I'm a curmudgeon about some things, Halloween, but I like the Christmas season. I'm not attached specifically to the idea of, like, oh, Christmas, but I like that December period, and Christmas is the holiday that we choose to celebrate. And there's something about, like, Christmas movies, like, they're 100% of the time, they're set in New York City, and even though I like New York City, more than Boston, at least, but there's just something, you know, kind of sentimental or dare I even say magical about a movie set in New York on Christmas, you know, and there's like a certain magic in the air. So I'll watch any Christmas movie set in New York once. Even Serendipity, starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale, Jeremy Piven, which I probably watched actually like 20 times. Just because, you know, it came out when I was in 8th grade, and when it comes on the movie channels, you're like, I had nothing better to do. So Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Home Alone 1, an obvious classic, directed by the better of the two, Christopher Columbus's. Great movie. Everyone loves it. Well, most people love it. Considered a classic for good reason. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I've long been of the opinion, even when I was a child, that it doesn't hold a candle to the first movie. Now, that being said, substantially better than Home Alone 3 and then the straight-to-video Home Alone 4. Regardless, watching Home Alone 2 as an adult, you actually realize it's a Saw movie. It's, you know, so if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm going to try not to spoil. I know you're like, how does this relate to Home Alone 2? Well, basically, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is really like kind of a slow burn... Oh, there is a shop. I'm just stupid. It's like a slow burn, kind of like, you know, day in the life or slice of life sort of movie, punctuated at the end by some bombasticness, right? Home Alone 2, Lost in New York is basically that movie for kids, and it's terrifying. It's about an hour and a half of Kevin McAllister's adventures. He's lost in New York. He... defrauds his own father to get the money required to stay at a super nice hotel, where the concierge is played with aplomb by the inimitable Tim Curry. I was like, wait, Tim Curry's a basketball player. And, you know, Rob Schneider's there, and, you know, it's a lot of fun. And then he, like, befriends an Irish woman who controls pigeons with her mind or something, and like it's kind of like a a little adventure film. Then the Sticky Bandits from the first movie, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, they're back. Oh no! I'm gonna try to get you to pay out. I'm gonna take a risk here. So be it. They're gonna rob Duncan's toy store. 5 full floors of toys and cash. Kevin McAllister says, you know what? I can't have that. Now, here's one thing I would say, Kevin McAllister. My personal take, you're like a 9-year-old kid. Actually, probably a little younger in the movie. Let the police know, right? Like, be like, hey, cops, the Sticky Bandits are gonna rob Duncan's toy store. You could just walk over to like an NYPD station and let them know, right? You should not enter into this vigilante justice where you try to stop 2 armed robbers, I might add. They have a gun that they brandish at the child at point-blank range later in the film, but we'll get to that because it's jarring. You don't need to stop it. You don't need to take justice into your own hands. You're like a little kid. You're like a little baby, right? Just help me. Just let them rob the toy store, and they got insurance, or alternatively, let the police know. Probably let the police know. But anyway, so Kevin McAllister, this is the final half hour of the movie. It takes place in like a wordless orgy of violence. Kevin McAllister throws a brick through the toy store window, which triggers the alarm. The Sticky Bandits chase him to the home of his uncle, presently abandoned, as who wants to live in New York during Christmas? We're gonna go on vacation to, I think they were in like Florida or something. Anyway, and also, here's the rub, right? Renovations are being done on the place. You know what that means. There's holes in the floor, there's all sorts of bags of cement, cans of paint. The next half hour is actually one of the grotesque edifications of violence that I've ever seen on film, especially in a supposed children's movie. Kevin McAllister and the film's creators worship at the altar of blood, and they are part of the cult of malevolence. I don't know how else to say it. This bizarre scene, and this is not scripted, by the way. This is all coming off the top of the dome piece. This bizarre scene is kicked off by Kevin McAllister throwing a brick from from the roof of their brownstone, which is, it's a house in New York. Hold on, let me caffeinate, because this is going places. Kevin McAllister throws a brick from the roof of his brownstone into Marv's head. It collides squarely with the top of his head. Marv is knocked to the ground, visibly nauseous. The scene cuts to viewing things from Marv's perspective. Marv has doubled vision. Joe Pesci says, "Hey Marv, how many fingers am I holding up?" Marv says, 8. Joe Pesci, in a very scary, I don't even want to think of the implications here, looks at his own hand to verify that he does not have 8 fingers on his hand. Now, you might say, that's enough to do some catastrophic damage. You're not wrong. And you know what? That first brick probably cracked his skull. He definitely would need hospitalization, is my estimate, but I'm not a doctor. I'm merely a consumer of media. Then, as if that weren't enough, he throws another brick. It hits him right on top of the dome. If you are already concussed, as it appeared that he was based on the doubled vision, and being kind of delirious, I believe that probably would have, at the very least, he would have post-concussion syndrome that would probably, ruin his brain for life. Just to be honest with you, I think that he would never even be close to the same. Probably suffer a catastrophic brain injury. As if that wasn't enough, clearly having disabled the robbers, he throws 2 more bricks from the roof, all of which collide. Marv still somehow alive after this. Okay, now they finally get the door open. The robbers get the door open. They're in the brownstone. Immediately, Marv, played by Daniel Stern, falls through 1 story, lands in the basement, and his nightmare has just begun at this point. He gets goop on his hands, tries to wash it off in a sink with metal handles. Only the sadistic Kevin McAllister, and I want to point out, there's no words spoken during the entire third act. It's just a silent menagerie of, like, torture. It's grotesque. It's brutal. Anyway, he grabs the metal handles, but Kevin McAllister has hooked it up to the generator that powers an arc welder, and just keeps cranking the knob, so Daniel Stern being electrocuted, his muscles involuntarily contracting, causing him to grip the handles even harder as Kevin McAllister turns the knob, which I may add, by the way, is a kind of torture that the Geneva Convention rendered illegal in, like, you know, the 1930s. Anyway, who cares? Kevin McAllister, he's a kid. He's using his youthful immunity to honestly get away with some seriously depraved stuff. Anyway, so Marv gets electrocuted, and this is post 4 bricks to the dome. Marv gets electrocuted to such a high degree of electricity, we see him on screen become a skeleton. He becomes a skeleton with hair. And yet he lives. He lives long enough to have and they pan over the bag of cement. He lives long enough to have a 100-pound bag of cement dropped on his head from 3 stories up. Which I have to imagine... I mean, I have to imagine it's lethal to an absurd degree. Like, I think he would be turned into... He'd be two-dimensional, you know, by the time that hit him. Especially the way it hit him. Alright, so what happened to Joe Pesci? Well, you know, he gets hit in the face with an enormous iron pipe that certainly would at least concuss, and then, you know, he falls backwards down the stairs through a hole in the floor that leads to the basement. But the big one for sure that would actually guarantee that he was killed was, much like in the first movie, he pulls a string that's supposed to be attached to a light bulb, but instead it's attached to a homemade flamethrower. Why does Kevin McAllister even know how to build this homemade flamethrower in the first place? It just raises a lot of questions, right? It lights his hat on fire. Remember that from the first movie? What does he do? He goes to the sink. He's gonna get executed. He's gonna get electrocuted. Nope. Turns on the sink, but there's no water. You know why? Because of the renovations. What happens next? He deftly does a handstand, because there's no water in the sink. He definitely does a handstand to plunge his head into the toilet. Only this sadistic child has actually, and we love that devil card, don't get me wrong. This sadistic child has filled the toilet with lighter fluid. So when Joe Pesci puts his head into the toilet bowl, he explodes. They don't show him exploding, but they do make it very clear with the shot that they made that, like, you can see the whole house become orange. First off, I'm gonna hit you with the obvious. Joe Pesci is dead as of that. I mean, if he had not been killed by all the blunt force trauma, he exploded. His head had 10-inch flames coming out of the top of it, and he shoved it into probably like a 20-liter container of lighter fluid. He's dead. There's no way around it. Kevin McAllister, had he not done it before, he has committed his first murder, without a doubt. Anyway, following that, I mean, it just gets... The fact that they live is obviously, like... The whole point of Home Alone 2 is not the idea that, you know, like, oh, how could they survive that? The filmmakers were so stupid. You know, the point is that it's kind of like... It's like a Looney Tunes sort of thing come to life, right? I do get that, believe it or not. But the sheer, you know, sadistic nature of... And Kevin, he takes pleasure in it the whole time as well. He pushes a probably 500-pound chest of tools down a staircase when the sticky bandits have their ear to the door just to see what you know, what's coming. It blows the door off the hinges and then compresses them into the wall until they're about like 3 inches thick. Anyway, after this, again, I can't stress enough, after this menagerie of brutality is complete, Kevin's running away. He calls the police. He's running away. He slips on the ice and they catch him. It's a sheer testament to the healing factor of the wet bandits. They have not been permanently disabled by the attacks that Kevin McAllister has thrown out. They must be superhuman. I can't believe, by the way, it's 14 minutes and we're about to go to the 3rd floor. But regardless, Merry Christmas to you. They catch him. What do they do after they catch him? They walk him into Central Park. That's nice. Wrong? Not nice. It's after dark. It's a scary place. It's New York in the 1990s. You know, it was before Bubba Gump Shrimp opened up. Everything was a little spookier back then, allegedly. Regardless, this is where the movie takes a serious turn. I don't know if they would do this in the modern day. Joe Pesci pulls out a gun. Frick. Joe Pesci pulls out a gun. He presses it into Macaulay Culkin's forehead. This is a movie for children, just for the record. No wonder so many kids that were born, you know, the same era as me have, like, anxiety disorders now. But anyway, he presses the gun into Macaulay Culkin's forehead. And then he says, I didn't make it to this... Sorry, I can't deliver this line with a straight face. I didn't make it to the 6th grade, kid, and it looks like you're not gonna neither. And then he tries to pull the trigger, but he can't because his hands are all gummed up with goo because he's gotten, like, stuff poured on him. And then the lady with the birds comes and she hits him with bird seed and you know, really they get the Prometheus treatment and the NYPD comes and arrests them. Anyway, it's just like, the movie is actually, it's fun. But I was surprised when I was watching it that it's actually, like, it's twisted, man. In Home Alone 1, like, they kind of, Kevin McAllister is pretty justified. You know, they're trying to do, like, a home invasion robbery sort of deal. I can't believe we didn't get hit, dude. And he's got to protect himself. And moreover, there's some glee in seeing these robbers kind of, like, get their just desserts, right? I hate to say it because I know how this sounds. In Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, Kevin McAllister really goes looking for a fight. He does. There's no other way to say it. He didn't really have to involve himself in the situation. The bandits were gonna... And I get, by the way, I know you're like, you're forgetting. The bandits were gonna rob the toy store that had all the money that was gonna go to the children's hospital. Even still, like, don't get me wrong, it's like I'm not taking the side of the bandits, really. However, there's no reason for Kevin McAllister to have involved himself to such an absurd and sadistic degree in the second movie. It's a crime that's essentially unrelated to him, except he knows that it's gonna happen. Like, if he had just told the police, hey, they're gonna rob this toy store at, you know, as soon as they close, the police just show up. Hey, you, Harry and Marv, you're arrested, losers, and then they're dead, right? Like, well, not dead, but they're in prison, where any number of foul fates could befall them. But instead, Kevin McAllister, it's extrajudicial, right? Like, he just decides, no, these guys, they need to be taught a lesson, which is probably true. They are jerks, but, like, I almost wonder, like, if you got a lawyer to comment on Home Alone 2, if he could actually make the case that, like, they could sue, the Sticky Bandits could sue Kevin McAllister's parents for, like, everything they're worth. Like, we have laws for a reason, right? It's not like, oh, if you're gonna commit a crime, all of a sudden you forego all of your rights to, you know, everything. And if some, you know, little jigsaw tortures you, then, well, you shouldn't have committed robbery, right? Like, it's actually like a Black Mirror episode. Like, I think you can learn a lot. I mean, I don't know about the average person, but I feel like I learned a lot about myself watching Home Alone 2. I'm being very sincere. This is a kid... Like, if you ever needed a lesson that, like, kids are kind of brutal, no kid ever watches Home Alone 2 and goes like, you know, I kind of feel for the bandits. Many adults, when I tweeted about watching Home Alone 2, left, you know, comments on the tweet. They left replies that were like, when I watched this movie as a kid, it was a lot of fun. When I watched it as an adult, I was like, this guy should be in jail or therapy or something. Like, it's just absurd. He takes matters into his hands to such an extreme degree that, you know, you're not really, like, rooting for him anymore. You're not rooting for him to be killed, but you're like, you know, I hate to say it, because, like, you know, I know how it sounds, but you almost, by the time the wet bandits pull out the gun, and they're like, you know, I didn't make it to the 6th grade, kid, and it looks like you're not gonna neither. You're kind of like, I could understand why they would want to take matters into their own hands. Like, they were just gonna rob a toy store, not a nice thing to do. Then this kid kills them, like, it's besets upon them on all sides lethal hazards over and over again. Not just lethal, but also embarrassing. Like, it's never like they just get shot, right? It's always like they try to open a door and then, like, the door handle is so scalding hot it, like, burns the emblem on the door handle into the guy's hand. Like, it's just, you're like embarrassed and then also dead. It's crazy, man. Like, if you watch that movie with kind of like an adult mindset, it's most of the time you watch a kid's movie with an adult mindset, you're like, this is kind of dumb. You watch Home Alone 2 with an adult's mindset, you actually leave being like, that kid is a menace. Well, thank God we just got that spirit heart, because this is terrible. But thank God we didn't go to the curse room, but either way, we're moving on. Then I watched Elf. I watched like half of Elf at least, and I realized that, like, dude, man, I'm getting old. I saw Elf in theaters when I was like maybe 15. I remember I was around the age, and I think Elf is a pretty fun movie. But I remember, like, it was at the age where my mom was like, I want to go see a movie together. And I was like, all right, but if anybody sees us, I'm going to tell my classmates you're my girlfriend. You know, I was, like, embarrassed to that weird age where, like, it's so stupid. Like, I would never defend myself for doing this because it's just so idiotic. But you're, like, paranoid. And if the culture has changed, then that's fantastic. But, because it is very dumb. But you're at the age where, like, your parents want to go to the mall. You want to go to the mall, but you don't want anybody to know that your parents took you to the mall. So, like, when you're walking around, you walk, like, 6 feet in front of or behind your parents, so that if people see you, they might be like, oh. At first, I thought that was a loser who came to the mall with, you know, the 2 people on planet Earth he loved the most. Now I realize it's just a really cool 13-year-old kid who's at the mall by himself, mimicking the exact routes and movements of 2 middle-aged adults. You know, it's very weird, but, you know, you're at that age where you're like when you're like 12 to 16, you're like, the worst thing you could be is like a little kid, right? The worst thing you could do is like need somebody, to depend on somebody, even though, you know, at the same time, like, your parents are paying for like 99.8% of your meals, and, you know, you get the idea. Anyway, I was at that age. Now I'm like, dude, if my mom wanted, if we lived in the same city and my mom wanted to go see a movie, I'd be like, absolutely, I'll clear my schedule. By the way, I'm hoping at some point we get like a DPS upgrade here, because this is like getting a little ridiculous. I mean, it's Christmas, Edmund. Come on, man. Rotten Baby was nice, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of it's a little absurd, wouldn't you say? I kind of do want to take take the pills that are available there, but I'm like, you know, it's a little spooky as well. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Oh, my Lanta. Are those just question marks? I know the last pill was just question marks. Bro, we're gonna die here. Maybe we won't. I don't know. All the poops are gone now, but I do hate dodging the gate attacks, and we really need to hope that Crystal Ball pays out with some stuff that's, like, semi-useful here. Ay, come on, man. Anyway, why was I getting old? I realized when I watched Elf. Because Will Ferrell looks young in the movie. If you asked me, like, over the last 17 years, has Will Ferrell's appearance changed? I'd be like, yeah, he's probably gotten a little older. Now when I watch it, I'm like, wow, that dude's like a contemporary of me right now. I'm like, Will Ferrell looks like well, he doesn't look like a tall version of me, but he looks like he could be my tall friend. Maybe a few years older, but not by much, man. But you don't think about that stuff when you're like 15. You're like, one day Will Ferrell's gonna be my peer, you know? Even though that's not true, because now he's like in his probably mid-50s, but You know, you're like, I'm gonna be 15 forever, man, and it's gonna be awesome. 15 was not like that special. I think if I could stay like 32 forever, that could be pretty cool, though. All right, we did not get a spirit heart, so life is pain. And just to like add insult to injury, oh my god. How about this though? It's better. Just to add insult to injury, they give us a bad card. I mean, this is a horrible run. I don't even know what to say. Like, we're 25 minutes in. We're on the 4th floor. You know what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna get yeeted to one of these large rooms, and then, like, the whole thing's gonna be at risk of crashing down. Oh, okay. Well, let's try not to get hit here. Please, oh my god. It should never have worked out well for us, but it did. You know the run's in a weird spot when I'm like willfully using the tower card. Anyway, I think Elf's a good movie though. I don't really have a favorite Christmas movie. I do not like A Christmas Story. But the reason I don't like A Christmas Story is just because of the fact that my mom loves it. So I choose not to like it despite her. No, it's not like that. Obviously. Were you not listening to the last bit? That's very helpful, actually. Not really, like, long-term, but very short-term. This is amazing. No, the reason I really like, or I really don't like A Christmas Story is just because we watched it, like, 1 to 2 times a year for a decade, and I'm like, I'm over it, right? Too much of a good thing. Have we even been in here yet? Like, we're not allowed? Okay, there you go. You know what? I'm gonna try to... It's a fool's play to try to just bomb your way out of these rooms when you've got, like, the curse of the whatever. So I think we actually do want to complete this room so we don't have to use 17 bombs to get in and out of this room constantly. I'm dumb, but we got a battery charge from it. All's forgiven. Kind of. Thank you so much for your help. Yeah, I don't know if I actually have, like, a favorite Christmas movie. There's, like, a really cursed era of cable television, where, like, TBS, which is, I think, now known as, like, Peachtree TV or something, every Christmas, they would run a 24-hour marathon of A Christmas Story. Why? Like, I know the idea... I mean, don't you just acknowledge at that point that your network kind of sucks? I know how that sounds, but, like... You're like, nobody's gonna watch our network all day. So let's not even make an effort. Let's just play the same movie 12 times and people can tune in and tune out at their leisure, right? Like, I get that it serves a purpose, but... Do you not just look at your programming at that point and go, like, literally, like, we're making our programming, like, bad on purpose to achieve, like, a minimum standard that's not even that impressive to begin with? Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, look, this dice room has the power to change everything. There's about... I want to say there's a 1 in 3 chance of it being a 1 or a 6, you know, because 2 and 6 is 1 in 3, but... I also sort of look at it like... I always feel like we get more 1s and 6s than anything else. So I hope that maybe it's actually like a 1 in 1 chance, but that's not really how statistics works. Life goes on either way. It's a 2. And... you know, why not? If the run's already a little weird, like, let's keep it weird, man. This actually does give us the ability to possibly hit enemies, which is nice as well. I think we're probably... Oh, but what if we get all the way through this and then we get hit? Well, let's just not let that happen. I mean, it's one of those runs where, like, to be straight up with you, like, if we got hit and we died... I would probably consider being eliminated by this run to be, like, one of the great mercies. We'll hold the charge here, though. That was just not very smart. You know what? We do have a demon heart, so mathematically we've probably already won this fight. As long as we don't teleport. And we would've! Now, an incredible deal with the devil. Oh man. Oh man, would that tickle me. Maybe the game is like programmed to be bad on Christmas. It's like, hey, you should be like spending time with your family. Well, I guess you didn't think about the fact that Christmas could fall in the middle of a global pandemic. Edmonds, come on, man. We got a damage upgrade. What the heck is going on? So you're saying there's a chance. I don't mind this. I don't mind it. 4.2 damage, by the way. Still really, really not good. Like, this is an all-timer as far as, like, trash runs go. You know, believe it or not, I actually think we should probably just 2 of diamonds. And then buy this. And then, you think there's a chance you're going to pay out like a cent? Hey, thank you. Then we can do this, and we can get a spirit art, and then we can buy this, and it's the sun card, and, you know, it's still not very good. And I don't really see the ability for us to get that eternal heart without costing ourselves dearly. But we can at least, we can be somewhat happy with this. Let's caffeinate. Alrighty. I think we care. I wish we didn't. But I think we do. If we have the HP, we kind of gotta let it ride, because we, like, becoming Guppy is one of the shortcuts out of this one. Anyway, though, like, I don't know, I feel weird, like, even though the run is horrible, I feel weird being, like, you know, talking about Isaac, just because, like, is also almost certainly still a win. Although, if our damage doesn't get better by the time the run gets further in, like, it's very spooky for sure, because, like, right now it's all fun and games, but when we get down to the womb, we're just gonna be miserable. But I'm proud of us, you know, we're kind of making it work. Just try not to teleport, obviously. Like, that was a good teleport. We do have a tinted rock here as well. I mean, to get small rock, man. Oh my. Oh my. Wheel of Fortune. It's like I almost want to use Monstro's Tooth to just, like, step on me. To get the tinted rock. I don't know if Monstro's Tooth blows up the rocks. I would say I'm like 60% confident it does. Which doesn't mean anything because it's basically a number I just pulled out of the top of my head, but... we like it. AWAS. We don't really like it. Give us some time here. Give us some time. You know, time to enjoy a little bit more of this floor. Cursed Eye may indeed end up being a little bit of a... let's call it a mistake, shall we? I'm probably gonna have to cut this run in the middle, not for YouTube, but like, I'm probably gonna have to stop the recording halfway through because I got a family Zoom Christmas thing coming up. The irony is that they were like, you want to do the call at noon? And I was like, I'm gonna try to sneak in an Isaac. If we could just do it maybe at like 12:20, then I should be 100% fine. Well, you don't expect to have an 80-minute Isaac run kind of straddling the line, but it is what it is. When you're going through heck, keep going, I suppose, and don't teleport me, please. So we have money to pop into the Wheel of Fortune. We'll be looking for a bomb, which could allow us... oh, okay. Or you could just do that. We don't... jumper cables are good, but we kind of don't have a... we don't have a way around it right now, you know? We do also want the battery charge, but we can... you know, we're looking at something like this, because small rock could really change the game for us. Didn't get small rock, but we got some good items, which we can then do this, and I know you're like, you don't really want to do this, but I do want to do this, even though we were super close anyway. Just because, like, I'm not sure if you're watching this, but this run is like a colossal disaster. It's like, it's truly comically bad. At any given moment, we get smacked with brimstone and die, well, be teleported, I should say. So I'm very happy. It's like, as long as we have like a dividend here with Rotten Baby. As long as Rotten Baby keeps shooting at the gate, we will come out of this. All we need to do is hold the charge and dodge forever. Rotten Baby is thankfully imprinted. That's fine. You accept it. We just accept it. We're almost there. This would be we've already been to our deal with the devil. We have 0% chance of a deal with the devil. What's going on? Because of the layout of the boss room, like, or something. What the heck? Why? What the? It's such a ripoff, man. All right, Necropolis 1. It's not greed. F. That being said, I do really want to buy the battery charge. That way we can figure out where we're going on this floor and hopefully not waste too much time trying to get there, you know what I mean? Terrible room. Just need... Oh, we almost made it too. Just need Rotten Baby to, like, literally hit them once or twice, and then we're probably safe. Probably this way. Okay, I don't think we wanna... Just studying it. That was incredible play. I've never worked harder on that. Normally I'm just like, brrr, just walking through them. Whatever, if I get hit, it doesn't matter. 17 other videos to record today, son of a... This one, I'm like, we've got to use every ounce of our ability. This is terrible, man. Like, can you believe that the Home Alone tangent was in this one? We talked about Home Alone 2 for like 20 minutes uninterrupted. We're on Necropolis 2. That's like what can you even say? It's a slap in the face. And for once, I have somebody to blame but myself. I'm extremely upset. That, like, sure, okay, what I was gonna say is I did take Cursed Eye, but I do have somebody to blame but myself because the run is like, you know, it just doesn't have any firepower. But the flip side of that is, yeah, I did also take Cursed Eye, which is gonna really impact me here, but I don't know, maybe it's for the best, man, so we can actually get, like, some charges on the crystal ball. Definitely gonna have to put, like, a little cut in this episode, though, like... It's just, this is kind of madness. This is also kind of, like, emblematic of, like, when I'm mad at Isaac, this is the run that I think about, right? Like, it's just kind of... Like, why? And then people go, just don't play as Eden. And I'm like, ah, that's a good point. And then I'm like, let's play an Eden run. I don't want to play as the other characters. They're too easy. Well, there was one guy on Christmas morning, which was this morning. He left a comment on the video, and you gotta wonder, you know, how someone finds themselves doing this on Christmas morning. But they left a comment that said, "I miss the egg who used to be so zany," and then this is like verbatim. They said, "It's been very sad watching you morph into yet another player who just does the safe thing at all times." To which I was like, "There's other people that play this game?" Well, here's your Zane, mister. Here's your Zane. We took the Cursed Eye. I mean, we've been adding more and more zaniness into it. And I hope that this please, take me closer to the end. Thank you. I hope that this buffers some of your sadness. It wasn't my intention to create the physical emotion of sadness, most often associated with a significant emotional or material loss by the way that I play this video game. I understand, you know, at this point, there's nothing I could say with my words or my deeds that would make you feel better, but it wasn't my intention to create that situation. Alright, I'm maybe going a little hard, but you gotta understand, when you read something like that on the morning of December 25th, you think to yourself, what? Okay, we're not getting hit here. Okay, let's go. Let's go. It's not very good, though. It's like, this just not very good. We kind of definitely need to protect ourselves here. Like, we need to buy a Spirit Heart. I know, like the reason we need to buy the Spirit Heart is because we definitely need to get a deal with the devil here in order to have any chance of success. It's Mom? Well, it doesn't change things. I didn't know we made it this far. Hold on, this is good, right? Like, when Mom's foot comes down, I'm extremely upset. But when Mom's foot comes down, we could just walk into it. You can also just walk over it. Alright, I mean, that wasn't so bad. What'd you do? Like, what happened, man? When this game was young, the future was so bright. Whoa. The whole item pool was so alive. Whoa. Every run on the whole dang street. Whoa. Didn't need a mom's knife to beat. Another item pool's cracked and torn. Whoa. The pool is bloated and the items are scorned. What the heck is going on? The coolest baby, a chance is blind. Nothing's bleed. Longing for... I'm sorry. I'm trying to delete it. This is a very annoying fight to try not to get hit on. If you had told me we were going to have a 40-minute Isaac run, I would be like, you know, it's a long one, but it's okay. If you were going to tell me we had a 40-minute run to Mom's foot, I would probably be like, you know what? Some things in life aren't worth it. For everything else, there's frickin' MasterCard, man. So that would probably kill us to use it. Okay, cool. Really, pretty emblematic of things that kind of cheese me off right now in this game, at least. So I think we'll probably like temporarily call it, and I'll go to the bathroom and I'll come back in a bit. See ya. All right, we are back. Had a nice Christmas Zoom with my parents, and now figuring out how on earth we're gonna get through the rest of this run. Okay, I got ideas. Can I just start with that? I got ideas. Idea number one is do every room. If we get some bombs, the bombs could give us an advantage here. In some ways, I almost feel like it's advantageous to take a little break in the middle of a trash run. First off, I'm a little bit distant from the emotions of the run now, right? I'm not coming in half tilted. I think as a younger man, the tilt was beneficial to me. That was a little spooky. I think it motivated me. Now it just kind of depresses me. There's not a lot to like, yet at the same time, there's actually some prospects on this run. What's the big thing? Well, we shouldn't be taking these guys out one at a time, I'll tell you that much. However, as of right now, and I'm paranoid we're going to screw it up right here, but as of right now, we do have a 100% chance of a deal with the devil. Oh my god, that was so close to ruining it and possibly also teleporting us. 100% chance of a devil deal. No joke. I mean, all you need is 3 or 4 great items to take this one to safety. But so you're saying there's a chance, you know? So you're saying There's a chance. There's a Spirit Heart for us. We probably... You would think, like, you don't want to jeopardize this. And I think there's a grain of truth to that. But I also feel like every room that we do takes us one step closer to possibly being in a better spot. You know, ideally, we would love to see, like, some battery charges pay out here. If that can't happen, it can't happen. I don't know, like, the last time... I've had some trash runs, don't get me wrong. Like, there were years where people were like, how does this guy get so lucky in this game? I really feel like we've inverted that trend. You know, we've regressed to the mean degree of luck. How did we not get hit? In, like, this year's runs. Now, we've had some really good ones, but, like, you know, you should not expect to see one train wreck type unbelievably bad run for, like, every unbelievably good run. It's just not the way the balance in the game works, right? You should expect to see these, like, once every 6 months, maybe. Anyway, long story short, phase 1 of the plan is complete. Phase 2. Like, we have nothing. That's really what I'm trying to say, I guess. Is like, our speed is bad. Our HP is not good. Our fire rate is horrendous. Our damage is our best stat, and it's, like, below average. Like, and our spacebar item is good. That's it. That's all we got, man. We want this. We wanted the payout to be what it was. And now we stand an extremely good chance of having a deal with the devil. And the rub at the end of all this is we get nothing for beating Mom except the deal with the devil. And then the secondary thing is that I can't shake the feeling that for me, this deal with the devil is going to be Krampus. It just feels Krampus adjacent. I mean, mostly because, like, today is literally Christmas Day. So it would be very in keeping with the seasonality of it. There you go, rotten baby. Just keep feeding them. Keep it moving. Almost got hit. That's all right. You can get hit. You know, like, I would kill for a single orbital, man. Like, that's... And I've realized, you know, you can ask for the world. What you ask for in this game matters not as well. You can ask for the world. You can ask for 10 tiers upgrades, a cool damage upgrade, hey, some defense, some survivability, whatever. The relic. You can also just ask for one... You could just ask for one sack dagger. And, hoo-ah! Okay, so this is horrible. I mean, I took Cursed Eye, right? Alright, I did it. Pick your next move. You can leave or live with it. What are we gonna do? I think we're gonna go... we're gonna go to the curse room, which might seem like a bit of a gamble. And I think that's fair. But it also... I mean... If we're gonna live the nightmare, let's live the nightmare, man. So now there's 100 different ways to die. And we can do it 1,000 times. But if this deal with the devil comes to pass, do I need to tell you that we have a chance to get Guppy? We're only one item away from Guppy. We just... I mean, I want to. I really do, because it offers some offensive punch. But it's a terrible idea. Most of the time we get hit, we're going to teleport out anyway, because we're going to get hit by accident. So we're going to teleport out, and then you just play it forward. Next time we walk into the room, there's going to be 50 bombs just sitting there. That seems bad. We're going to get hit again, and you can see how, like, this leads to a situation where times could be pretty tough for us. The one thing I do like is the ability to summon bombs at will, which is actually potentially really good if we come across, like, Tinted Rock situations, because, amazingly, we have no consumables, which seems, like, unfathomable. How could we have none of everything? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, you have to take that up with the people who create the game at this point. Not to be rude, I'm just saying, you know, I don't know, it's outside of my capacity. We gotta make it through here, though. We gotta make it through here. How are we gonna do this? I mean, it's just a matter of... really just a matter of having one perfect fight was what I was just gonna say. Now we probably, if I had to guess, I would say we probably will not get through our deal with the devil. Or we probably won't get our deal with the devil, I should say. Which is very disappointing, given the circumstances. Is there... I think if we use Plan C, I believe the mom death animation takes so long, this will not work. But in desperate times, you know, just take it. Just take it. Like, I consider that worth it, you know? I'm mad that we had to do it. But I will say, I guess there's a first time for everything. I feel like that might be the first time we've ever actually used Plan C. And we really should have gone into the deal with the devil ASAP. We should have gone into the deal with the devil ASAP, but I thought we were going to die pretty quickly, so I didn't. I was kind of frozen in fear. That being said, now you start to look at this and you go, okay, it sucks. Let's just start with that. Like, if you're like, okay, this is good, you've lost your mind. I get it, you're a contrarian. You're like, up is down. Up is up? I don't think so. Up is down now. You're one of those people. That's fine. But that being said, that doesn't mean there's no hope for anything here. We are one spacebar press away from possibly getting a spirit heart, and at any given moment, we are one red chest away from experiencing the thrill of becoming Guppy, which really, and this is very rare, but is not an automatic win for us here, just because the run is still so bad, but would definitely go a long, long way. We're going to give it a try. That's not Guppy, but it's well worth the take to give us some kind of offensive improvement, which we're gonna double down on. And then, to be honest with you, I think we're definitely going to take every single one of these pills. You knew, like, I mean, so if we get hit, we die. Okay, no big deal. What else is new? Oh, we're out. Okay, even better. And then it's another, it's another dice room, and it's a frickin' 2, man. Come on, of all the consumables, or of all the dice rooms you could possibly give me. You give me a 2. You're gonna give me a 2. 2 times in the same run. But can I tell you, I think I may have crossed the threshold. It's a Christmas miracle. I think we may have crossed the threshold to where I would possibly predict a win here. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just merely saying it could happen. We actually could, and this is a spicy decision. We could go to the curse room. It's probably where, along with the deal with the devil, where we're most likely to get a Guppy item. It is also kind of a scary place. For sure. Oh, dude, Magic Mush would really hit the spot right now. Oh, my. No tinted rock. And, you know, but getting that chest would actually be pretty sweet. Because we would love a battery charge. That was a red chest, but it's okay. I actually... The catch here is, like, our damage is actually, like, functional now. But we have one problem, and the problem is that our rate of fire is still horrendous. But we either need to up our damage a little bit more, or we need to get a permanent stat increase, because we can't rely on Whore of Babylon sticking around forever. This episode, for real, though, has had some of the greatest dodges I've ever done. It's crazy. I am tooting my own horn. I wish I didn't have to toot my own horn. Because, I mean, it's fair. Other people will toot it for me. Every time, man. But you know what? You wanna be the best? You gotta be the best. Okay, I know you're like, what the heck is going on? Just work with me for a second, okay? Mission failed. We'll get him next time. I think we should do more rooms. Honestly, I think we should do more rooms. We're about to get another card. We probably don't want to go to our... we don't want to go to our curse room, I think, but... I saw the hand coming. I got so scared. Spirit Heart, okay. I think we do more rooms. And then we do more rooms, and then we go to Oregon, and then we're gonna go to Delaware, and then we're gonna go, woo! Okay. Just keep it going. Just, you know, very simple and fun Isaac run. What is this guy complaining about? 17 rate of fire. At least he's got 6 damage. We're at 55 minutes on the Womb 1. Pretty normal. And then, of course, the Womb 1 is the hardest boss, because I genuinely have come to agree with the conspiracy theory that is... incredible. That is, if you do have a bad run, then the game actually goes, okay, here's a hard boss for you. So there's a Tinted Rock. Wish I had saved the bomb that we blew up the Temperance with, but we didn't waste the bomb. We used it on a slightly less high percentage payout. But, you know, Spirit Hearts are not guaranteed in that situation to begin with. I'm drowsy. I'm drowsy is okay. Alright. The problem is not so much having the power... Oh, that's not good. The problem is not so much having the power to beat the Matriarch. It's beating the Matriarch without... accidentally... teleporting out. So I actually, believe it or not, I think we're doing the right thing. It's asinine. Right? For realsies, think that you just let Rotten Baby do the brunt of the work. Occasionally, we're gonna shoot when we feel extremely safe. Typically to take out some of the detritus. Otherwise, this is the Rotten Baby show. We're just living in it. Very lucky to have not been killed there. Or teleported. You knew it was coming. What can you say, you know? So I think this is where we lose. Yeah, this is probably where we lose. I don't see how we make it out of this wall. I have some... I mean, you know what? If we're gonna lose lives here, we might as well... That was not a good one. I thought maybe we would be able to touch the thing, but... obviously, also not good. Thank you for your insight. I don't know how we're gonna get to that. Now that I look at it. Can't be done. Okay, so that's 3 lives thrown away for essentially nothing. No matter where we go, we're going to... Like, if we go into the curse room, we're dead. So we're hoping for something out of this. I see no other option. Actually, that's not true. I see an option. And this is how you know, like, I hate where we're at in this run. Because I would never do this. I've come to terms in my head with this being a loss, and I'm actually completely okay with it. Like, totally fine. Actually, like, completely not upset. Here's how I think we get out of this run. And if this works, I expect the Zane Lord to make a full apology. The person who was sad that we did not have extra Zane. We're going to grab these pills. We're going to re-roll the pills with the 2 room. The pills are going to give us Guppy. And then we are going to win the game as a result of this Guppy payout. That's my game plan, okay? Now we're going to hold the left hand here, because I think we have to, in order to get red chest chances. We got a red chest. It's not Guppy, it's 3 flies. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I really, you know, there very, very little preventable mistakes here. Here's what I'll say about this now. I'm not saying we played a perfect run, but we will have to play basically perfectly to get through this. But, hey, if we're focusing on the bright side, if we're focusing on the bright side, we don't have to worry about teleporting anymore because we die in 1 hit. This is an incredible shot. And this is a very, very common boss to lose a streak on. And I gotta tell you, it wouldn't be fair to say, like, I'm not salty, because I think you can... You're smart people, you can notice for yourself there's a little salt. But you know what? Maybe this is what I needed in Isaac to... I needed the game's permission to be like, maybe we'll take a little break. I'm not saying this is the last Isaac episode, but, you know, the more episodes like this stack up, the more I'm like, man, what are you doing to me? Like, this is misery. And you had to put it on the same episode where we had that cool Home Alone tangent that people are gonna love as well. Don't bring me back. I don't. You know what? we got brought back with Guppy's collar. Okay. Stop getting closer to me. So we do have the Whore of Babylon stat increase right now. So this should pretty much be like a guaranteed win. Yep. Okay. Okay. So they brought me back again. Sure. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I don't know, like, even if we get through the first part, this is really like a multi-phase boss. That one I should have dodged. Oh my god, what a mess, dude. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!